like technology is becoming the same. Like there's the same smartphone, the same TV, the same computer. Like there's not much changing. Like compared to like from 70s, 80s, 90s, where it's like, oh, we developed the first chip. Oh, we can now type on a screen. Oh, now we can actually have color on the screen. Now we can do video on the screen. Like it progressively got better. But now, like once we hit the part where it's like, okay, we have everything that we're like the most entertainment we can get out of it, it's slowing down. Like not much is changing. Things are standardizing. So I feel like it's getting a little harder, but it leaves room for more inspiration. Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Hi everyone. Name's Antonio D. Miles. Welcome to the pod. We got a great, yes, 3 times great guest and podcast today, right? But before we jump into it, just gonna do a couple of housekeepings. Yes, my name is Antonio D. Miles. You can follow me on Instagram at YEAH. That is him. And again, I got a ebook coming out called 10 Things That Your Parents Should Have Taught You But Didn't, coming soon. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, let's get into the podcast. And we're here to talk to a man who works for one of the biggest companies in the world, actually the biggest search engine, I believe, in the world. And if you guys know what that is, that's Google. And today we have Cliff. Well, how do you say the last name? Cliff Rawlings?
Rawlings, like the baseball gloves.
Like the baseball glove Rawlings. So today,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, we have Cliff Rawlings in the building.
What's up?
What's up, man? Cliff, how you doing, bro?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm grateful, though. I know, life is crazy, but I think life makes us stronger every day. You know what I mean?
I feel you on that.
For sure. So, brother, can you tell everybody about yourself, a little about yourself and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I grew up in a little town, Moreno Valley. Uh, 2 parents, 3 sisters. They all moved out, and I was the only boy in the family. So I tried to make a name for myself. So just got stuck into computers, and then like from childhood all the way up to high school, like just started doing IT. Getting to know computers, getting to help people out, and I guess like the drive to help people was kind of like the thing that got me into it. So yeah, just started helping people out doing IT, and then eventually it led me into going into college for computer engineering. So I guess it was just the way of like figuring out how things work for computers. It kind of like progressed into it. So yeah, did college for a little bit, and then ended up getting to this position. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to talk about. Like, I don't usually talk about myself, so it's weird. Like I don't know how to get into it.
Don't even worry. We're gonna get into that weirdness. We got to get into that
Okay.
weirdness. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
even worry. We're gonna get right through. You know, but just give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Okay?
All
One
right.
second.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
Sorry, man. Is that better?
Yep.
A lot better. You can
Nice.
see me better, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, looking in the dark, dipping it in the dark. Oh
Hey.
yeah, after dark. Oh yeah,
Hey.
da da da.
Hey.
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 So I wanted to ask you, like, so you got your degree in computer engineering?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's a
So
long journey.
it's interesting that you mentioned that because I've been thinking about computer engineering myself, and like um, I just been dabbling and searching for engineering stuff like that. But I'm gonna talk to you another time about that. Maybe we can get you
Okay.
on another time to talk about that. But we definitely want to talk to you about Google and working at Google and how
Mm-hmm.
that is for you and stuff like that. So you told us a little bit about yourself and your upbringing, being the only boy, right? You said in a
Mm-hmm.
house full of girls, which is
Yeah.
art, which is already interesting. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you get to learn a lot about female nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like it, being the only boy and the youngest in the family. I was more of like the picked on one because it's like, oh, he gets
Mm,
everything he wants, blah blah blah. But like it got to a point where it's like I don't want to be that way. Like I kind of want to push for what I want, try to earn it. So I guess that it pushed it, try to like make a notion for myself. Like, yeah, I can do this myself. Like I'm not trying to be given everything. So yeah, I don't know if it was,
No,
yeah.
no, that makes sense because that's usually how like real men are. They don't want to just be handed things. They want to. What do they say? Men have to create their value.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And so
exactly.
like there are some people who get their hands out, but we're talking about people who want to just like actually like work for their own and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
respect number one for that, Cliff. Right?
much
But
appreciated.
of course, but I want to get down to Google, right? So like
Yeah.
at Google, what do you do there? And like what's your position? What's your role? What do you do there?
Yeah, so at the beginning I started off doing IT. So I got a recruiter hit me up like, hey, well, from the start, like how it all started was like when I was in Cal State, I applied for an internship for a software engineer.
Which Cal State did you go to?
Cal State San Bernardino.
Okay,
Yeah,
continue.
yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I applied for a position there. I didn't even hear anything back, but I ended up getting a different internship at a different place, Glidewell Dental, and never knew dentist place like warehouses and stuff had so much technology. So I ended up getting a software engineer internship at a dental place, and while I was at that place, a recruiter called me from Google, telling me, "Hey, we saw your resume. We see that you're going down the software engineer route, but um, we see that your resume is more fit for this position." So even though I didn't apply for it, someone hit me up and told me, "Hey, you should apply for this." So I ended up applying for it. Uh, I almost didn't accept it because I told my boss, I was like, "Hey, I know I'm in a good position here. I don't know if I should take it." He was like, "You have to be stupid not to take it." So I was like, "All right, cool." So ended up going through the interviews and everything, and ended up getting it. So did IT there for 2 years, and from the very start of it, uh, found somebody who worked in a software engineer position, and they got me in contact with someone from the Nest team. And from then
What's
on
the
out,
Nest team?
so they do a lot of like eco hardware. So it's like thermostats. They do cameras. Um, what else? Like a lot of like home it was
Appliances?
like home appliances pretty much. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so got in contact with them. They gave me a mentor, and then from year one all the way to second year, end of like October, November, just studied software engineering, doing programming interview, like mock interviews. Um, yeah, just pushing hard, and then finally did the interview and got the position. So now I'm working as on the Nest team as a software engineer.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, much
Man.
appreciated. It was a tough
Yeah.
journey.
It I like to believe that nothing that you truly want in life is easy. Uh but the reward's always worth it for the things that we want in life the
Hmm.
most.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Oh, nail on the head.
Boom. Call me
Yeah.
Undertaker. Tombstone. Yeah, you know what's up. You
Gotta
know
get that
what's up.
elbow in there.
Man, so what is the typical job or the duties of a software engineer at Google? I'm
So
not sure if you
it
can tell us.
Yeah, so it varies. It varies. So depending on the team that you're in, like I talked to a few people not too long ago, like gave a presentation about it. But like the overall thing that we do is pretty much like we wake up, we read emails, we do like coding reviews of other like people on our team. We write code. Shoot, we all like I think the biggest thing is that we always converse with each other. Like there's always communication. So I mean there's like misconceptions where it's like when you're doing software engineer or coding or something, you're like crunched up in a ball like in the corner in a cubicle and like doing your work. But it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of like getting to know everybody. um
Gotcha.
and
Like a
throwing ideas
community.
back and forth. Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of throwing ideas, and that's how we like come up with different ideas to build upon what we already have. So it's kind of like those three things, like emails, code reviews, coding, or four, and like communicating. And that's pretty much what we do.
That's what actually I've been hearing a lot about. Like I've been studying, like I said, engineering,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed a lot about when you get into the engineering field. Majority of it is teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to communicate with other teams, and sometimes you have to like cross like team depending on where you are. Like you have to work with mechanical engineers here, software engineers here, electrical engineers here. To
Yep.
build a whole project, depending on where you are. But it's always like a team thing. And like you said, a lot of people think you're like in a corner, like a rat eating cheese by yourself, but it's the complete opposite, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly what you
And
said. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
no, no, you're fine.
uh, but yeah, like we talk to the UX team, and then they give us ideas, and then we talk to the hardware team, and then we have to merge all the hardware with the software, and then we talk to. So it's definitely jumping different departments to make sure we know what's going on.
Got you. What does
Yeah.
UX mean? You said
So like,
UX team, right?
yeah. So it's
Okay,
like
what's that?
a user interface or user
Okay,
experience. Yeah.
okay. So basically, like how people um, enjoy doing like a Google search or something like that, like their
Hmm.
experience. Gotcha,
Exactly.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So what I heard also too is because like most people that go for engineering are nerds. We can say that, right?
Yup.
Which is fine. But hey, nerds are awesome. Nerds are amazing. Nerds are the millionaires. Nerds rule the world. Nerds create everything that we have in our world today. Correct.
Hmm. Yeah.
But going back to team building, one of the biggest things that people who are smart or whatever are nerds, they have terrible soft skills, like terrible people communication skills. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I used to be part of that, but it eventually you grow out of it.
it gets better over time, right?
It gets better.
It's like being what is it? Baptized by fire. Have you heard that term before?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that.
And so either you're gonna sink or swim in that situation, right?
Hmm.
Um, I'm definitely gonna talk to you some more about engineering stuff offline because it's not going anywhere, and it's like the
Oh,
found. Don't you think like
yeah.
engineering is not like all the forms of disciplines of engineering is not going anywhere,
Yeah,
and
that is true.
you cannot build a society and maintain a society without engineering, without
Yeah.
skills, right? Would you
Hmm.
agree?
I totally agree. Yeah, everything
Awesome.
built off of it. So I mean, it's here to stay.
And it's not going, and it's just going to get improved upon and improved upon.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Awesome.
kind of feel like it's getting a little bit more challenging because like there's like we're getting to a default where it's like everything is starting to plateau. Like innovation is
Mm,
plateauing. So
really?
yeah, like I feel like my opinion, but I feel
No,
like
yeah, please
technology.
explain. Please explain.
Yeah, so I feel like every like technology is becoming the same. Like there's the same smartphone, the same TV, the same computer. Like there's not much changing. Like compared to like from 70s, 80s, 90s, where it's like, oh, we developed the first chip. Oh, we can now type on a screen. Oh, now we can actually have color on the screen. Now we can do video on the screen. Like it progressively got better, but now like once we hit the part where it's like okay we have everything that we're like the most entertainment we can get out of it, it's slowing down. Like not much is changing, things are standardizing. So I feel like it's getting a little harder, but it leaves room for more inspiration. Like uh new things that pop out will be more like colorful to the world now. So in a way it feels like we need more sporadic ideas than the standard what we have right now.
Mm,
Yeah.
so okay, because you know how you said like we've kind of plateaued like at the screen. So
Hmm.
I'm certain you heard of the Neuralink project,
Hmm.
and we know about the metaverse and Oculus. Would you say that's like the next level?
Uh, I I do, but I feel like we're not gonna get there anytime soon. It's like it's like selling an idea that we may get too soon, but we're not there yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And for the audience that you guys don't know what the Neuralink is, it's a device that Elon Musk is working with his team where it connects the brain to a computer or a robot to transfer consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he says that it's working out so far. So who knows next 15, 20 years what life will look like.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting world to be in.
It's definitely going to be wild. It's going to be super
Mm,
wild. Um, but Cliff, I want to go back to Cliff. I wanted to go back to Google, right?
mhm.
And how is the work environment there? Is it as cool as the ad videos are? You
So
know, how is it?
yeah, it's weird because when I first joined, uh, this was like right before the pandemic. So I think it was like February, the beginning of February 2020. We get there, we go through orientation, and it's like a large, colorful world. Like it's a bubble. Like when they say it's like the tech bubble, it really feels like a bubble. Like everyone's nice, everyone's generous to each other. Like there was free food, like a bunch of activities, people like playing volleyball in the middle of like the office space. Like it's a weird, bizarre
Wow.
feeling. And yeah, like as soon as I got into my position, like started shadowing, like the first 2 days, the first day was like, hey, well, like we had the a TV in the room where people come in to like ask for help. On TV was the news, and it was like going over like there's a deadly virus going around. We don't know what's happening. And then we start getting emails from the company like, yeah, like we don't know if we might be working from home and everything. So we're like, okay, so keep a open ear on it. And then the second day we get the email, yeah, everybody's going to work from home. So that second day of actually working, we get sent home and do work from home for the next year and a half, 2 years. So uh so I kind of got the gist of what Google used to look like. And then it was just a ghost town from then on out. And then now they're starting to bring people in. So it kind of is kind of going back to the same, but there's a lot of missing pieces because now everyone's like wants to stay home and be safe from like getting sick.
Yeah,
But
from the Corona COVID-19. So you've
yeah,
been basically working remote the entire time. You've got the position.
yeah. Well, until probably like I would say like shoot, I'm not sure. Probably like somewhere in the middle of it. That's when we started like going to campus to try to fix computers. So I kind of like got to see what everything looked like, saw all the buildings, and then they started the hybrid. So then I was able to go into the office, and then people started coming in. So it's slowly going back to the Google how it used to be, but again, like
Gotcha.
the missing pieces.
It's not like the same like how it probably was pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
like
So you kind of
colorful. Yeah.
so you just missed out on the Willy Wonka factory.
Yeah, exactly.
You were
Yes.
just there, and then the blueberry girl showed up and ruined everything for everybody, type of thing.
And now all
You
the,
know what I
the
mean?
blueberry candy is like missing out of the whole company. And that was the best part about it. I
I
don't know.
got you. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Not anymore. Okay. Okay. So what have you learned by working at Google? Like what have you learned? Like I guess like personal development, technology development, like how have you grown? What have you learned by being a part of this company?
Oh man, there's so much. There's so much. Like they have this thing called well, I'm pretty sure it's everywhere else, but it's called imposter syndrome. And it's like when you go into a company, you see all the smart people around you, but you feel like the outcast, like you're not up to par of all these people. And they acknowledge that, where it's like you may not feel like you're not there yet, but you're here to learn. Like we're here to help you.
Mhm.
So oh man, like it brought so much out of me. Like I got leadership out of it. Like I'm taking control of like helping like a group of people like learn. I'm teaching people how to like code, how to do even positions outside of my position. um I'm reaching out to different schools trying to help out like how to get to where I'm at right now, because I know it's hard. So I picked up leadership, more coding habits, like how to code better, like what to look out for, structure, like infrastructure of how Google works. Oh man, the list goes on. I feel like I feel like a total different person compared to when I was at in college and like probably like a year or two into Google. So it's hard to like pick all the stuff that I picked up from them.
Got you. But it's just like a plethora of information and assets to help you grow as an individual.
Yep.
It probably helped you in your work life and outside work life as well, probably, huh?
Mm-hmm. Definitely, definitely. Like communicating, that was probably like one of the biggest things, because like before I mean, I used to think of myself like an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep talking to people, like some you'll pull out some of the habits, but I still consider myself an introvert. And then once when I got here, it was like there's so many people to talk to, so much stuff that you're learning. That's like you kind of feel eager to like help to talk more about like how life is. And I don't know, it opened me up a little bit more.
Definitely. And it's easier to talk to people that are in the same environment or interested in the same things that you are interested in,
Exactly.
right? It's like you can't really talk code to someone who's like a makeup artist.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
You know what I mean? Like you're trying to have like a code conversation with your girlfriend, and she's like, "What?"
And I tried it. I tried it too. Like I was like, yeah, I did this at work, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds interesting. And I'm like, yeah, as long as you got the key points from it.
That part.
Yeah.
That's one way to put her to sleep, though. One way to put her to sleep for sure. It's like, how can I put my girl to sleep? Oh yeah, Python. If you do this, yeah, that part, that part. So speaking of coding, and as being a software engineering and knowing about coding more,
Mhm.
what would you say are like the two or three best coding programs that a person should learn?
Okay, so I mean, I feel like it varies. It varies. So like
Okay.
depending on where you want to go with your life. So like when I started, like I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go. Like I wanted to do hardware, but I mean, like there's so many different ways of going about doing hardware. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up C and heavy advocate for C++. Like I didn't care about any other language. Like people were like, yeah, you should do Python, you should do Java. And I'm like, nah. Um, and then as soon as like I started doing like mock interviews and like talking to my mentor at Google, he was like, the first mock interview I did, I bombed it like terribly. And he told me like, yeah, what you want to do is get really well at a language. So like one language that you can really deep dive into, like understand the most. So he did the coding interview in Python and ended up giving me a project in Python for one of the things that we had to do for work. So I ended up like breaking out of the habit where it's like, okay, it depends on where you want to go with this language, because C++ is like you want to do more hardware, you want to do more um, like
Video
graphics design. It's
games.
like, yeah, like more memory management. Like it's a little bit more tedious, but pretty much everything is built around C++. If you want to do Python, it's like you can do scripting. Um, uh, you can do some websites. Like it's like they all do the same thing, but it's just how you get there. It's working around the syntax of the language that kind of like differentiates everything. So
Can you
yeah.
explain what scripting is for people that may not know?
Yeah, so scripting is like ooh, I was gonna talk in a more technical way, but it's like let's say it's like automating something. So
Okay.
let's say you want to send a bunch of messages to someone, and you want to do it pretty fast. So let's say you jump on Python, you type up like a few functions or whatever, few code, and it sends out all those messages for you. So it's kind of like scripting,
Mm,
automating everything for you. Yeah.
it's automation tool.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And you can
Yeah.
basically program that to anything you want, like a texting, emailing.
Mm-hmm.
If someone calls you, you can have it automate, say, "Hey, leave me alone."
Yeah. Yeah. So
So, so, so you decided to make Python your main choice.
Yep. So it was
Got you.
Python. And then since I knew a lot about like C++, that was like the back burner. But now that I got the position, it's kind of like swapped. So I have to get back to C++, but I'm like, dang, I wish I could do it in Python now, even though I like hated Python. So yeah, so it depends on the project.
Got you. The thing that
Yeah,
you hated is not the thing you love.
exactly.
Got you. What
Exactly.
I personally like about Python is that it's really, I feel like it's user friendly. Like it's very easy to learn type of thing. You know what
Definitely.
I mean? And that's what I
Yeah.
really like about it. And I've been learning, noticing that like a lot of people and companies are just like, like Python is blown up. I remember before it used to be always like C++, C++ this, and then we used like the last like 5, maybe 10 years, it's been like Python's been like the name that's been talked about. Would
Hmm.
you agree?
Yep. Totally
Yeah.
agree. It's
So it's
it's
interesting.
yeah, it makes everything so much easier. It's like you don't have to worry about too much. Like it does everything in the background for you, which is bad in a way, but there's ways of getting around it. So it really comes in handy with a lot of projects you do.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
So Cliff, I just got a couple more questions and I'm gonna get you out of here. Okay. So
Sounds good.
is there a role that you or a role or a position that you would like to have at Google, or are you kind of happy where you are right now?
That's a hard one.
Okay.
Uh, so because I think part of it comes with like the people that you're working with.
Yeah.
Because before, like I wanted to work for the Android team, but I guess I just never got in contact with anybody with from the Android team.
Just the
Um,
phone?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I ended up getting in contact with someone from the Nest team, and then they got me in. Like I started talking to all the teammates and everything, and they were so chill. Whereas like I don't picture myself anywhere else in Google. Like I love the projects that I'm working on, love the people that I'm like chilling with at work, and it just like you kind of like settle into that position. Um,
Fall into a nest.
mhm. I see what you did there. But yeah, I don't see myself jumping in any other team anytime soon.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
And the company around you makes, what is it? Home is where the heart is. Like the people around you kind of make it perfect. The environment does a lot, right? And the people around you
Mm.
makes a lot for whether it's work, whether it's at home, family, like the environment does a lot and the people in that environment does a lot for your happiness and your sanity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so is people's perception of Google what Google really is? Because people perceive what Google, you know what I mean? Like people have a perception of what Google is. Are people pretty accurate? I can't even, I guess I mentioned it earlier about like the little like Willy Wonka land, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
that. Would you say people's perception is kind of close?
it's it's 50-50 because
Okay.
like there's points where like people are like, oh, it's like a lavish company, like there's a bunch of stuff going on, and it's true, there's a lot going on. And then on the other side, it's like, yeah, it's a bad company, you get all this. And I mean, that's also true. Like all companies are good and bad, like but it's what you want to pull out of it. Because for me, like I see all the good stuff, like even working here, I see all the good things that they're trying to do. Like most companies, they're trying to get rich. Like they're trying to push out as much products as possible to try to milk out as much money as possible. But like from my side of view, like actually working on the products, like the thoughts that go into it is like they're considering everybody that's like in the world that use their products. So it's like, well, do you have an accessibility? Okay, we want to make sure that this helps people with accessibilities. Like uh, uh, we have like a new product. Do we want to make it like a really flashy? We want to make sure that we attend to people who love flashy type products. Like it's hard to go into it because like there's so many different perspectives of it. But
Gotcha.
it's hard to gauge. But I feel like half is true. Like it's a good company. They're here for the people. They're not here for the money. But also like there's also politics involved with it. So it makes it look bad for Google to do certain things. So yeah.
Gotcha. It's like any company or any person, like no one or no company is perfect, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess it's like I like how you answered it. You're like, I don't like to look at what other people call bad. I like to look at the good things. And it reminded me of the saying, like the glass is half full, the glass
Mm-hmm.
half full saying. And so I really like to hear you say that because it's like it's really how you look at things to really see. If you want to focus on the negative things about something, then that's all you're gonna see. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
see the beauty in something, then that's what you're gonna see. So I really loved
Exactly.
your answer. I really loved your answer. And I was actually kind of curious, if you work for Walmart, you get discounts on Walmart prices. So do you know where I'm going with this? So
I
when
don't
you
know
work
where
for
you're going
Google,
with this.
do you get like, a YouTube discount? Do you get like I always get this damn Google Fi plan that can commercial that comes on my dang YouTube every time. So do you get like a discount for the Google Fi plan? Like how does that work for you guys over there like that?
It depends on the product. So like for YouTube, they used to have a bunch of like tests for it. So we're like, oh, if you want to help out like fix bugs and stuff for it, we'll give it to you for free so you can test it out. So I was like, oh, okay. But like that's only for certain times. Like we do get other discounts. Like we get, I'm not sure the percentage, but we do get discounts on the hardware. Not too much on the software, only if there's like testing for it. Um, and a bunch of other companies that also want to work with Google because Google uses a lot of different like furnishing companies and stuff. So they want to give discounts for the store as well as their employees. So it's or did I say it right? Like they want to give the discount to Google and also the people involved because we're a heavy user of their products kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we get small discounts for that. But I wish we get discounts on like YouTube TV or something because I'm missing out on some of the games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A sportsman.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
guess I guess we got one letter we can write to HR. Be like, hey HR, like, come
Where's those
on,
where's those discounts?
come on, just at the we'll keep the ads. We'll keep the ads. Just give us the YouTube TV. The game's on. I'm missing the game. Did the Celtics win? I don't know. I need to know. I need
I
to
don't know.
know
I had to watch ESPN, the
that part.
live number. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it's cool though. It's cool.
Got you. Do you love tech and computers more or less now that you've been deeper into the belly of the beast?
So I would say I have more of an appreciation for it because
Okay.
it like from growing up like fixing computers to actually coding stuff for computers to actually seeing how things are built for computers, like you start seeing how intricate the pieces get and it gets annoying because you have to deal with it, but you start appreciating like how everything works. Like you can see like when they first built it, like how complex it was, and now it's made so easy for us that it's like we forget all the small pieces that make it work. And I kind of enjoy how it is now. So it's yeah, I mean it's not too much I can go into. It's like now I know how everything is working. It's like eh, how complex can it get now? It's like it's already complex as it is.
Got you. Like what's is like the earlier thing, like we've plateaued, kind of the same thing as earlier, like we
Mm-hmm.
plateaued at technology. What's
Yep.
next?
Yep.
So it's kind of like basically you kind of technology's like, kicking back with the recliner seat now. Is that what it's like? Is that what it's like now?
Yep. Yep.
That type of vibe?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
chilling now. It's not going anywhere. Like I maybe Meta might do something with it. Maybe like the Neuralink and everything goes into it, but yeah, it's not going too far anytime soon.
Gotcha. Do you think that um mankind's heading closer to like a Wally type of world?
Honestly, a little bit. It's scary.
Okay.
It's scary. Like we're getting I don't want to say like technology is bad in a way, but I feel like it's making us lazy. It's making everything too easy for us. It's like because I guess I can say like I'm not too fond of like social media Like I used to use it a lot back in the day, but now that it's starting to consume the attention, like people want that instant gratification, it's starting to make our attention span a little bit smaller, and it's not making us more interested, and like our curiosity is not being like, it's not peaking anymore. Like you already get what you want immediately, so you kind of lose out on the inspiration. Like that's where the plateau is. Like people are losing inspiration to do stuff. So I feel like it's, in a way, it's uh,
Say
yeah.
it. Say it. Say
I
it.
don't know. I don't
Say
know.
it. Go ahead.
I don't know.
This is a free platform, man. You can say whatever's on your mind, bro. Say whatever's on your heart.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Technology is like it's good if you know how to use it, but
Facts.
if you use it purely for entertainment, you're going nowhere. You're no innovations coming up anytime soon.
Gotcha. I like to look at it as like a weapon, like a sword. Either you can use it for good or use it for bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just
Exactly.
like it just
That's
depends on
how it is.
whose hand is it in?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And so I want to know like what project are you working on? Whether it's or what things are you working on? Whether it's in Google or outside of outside of Google, home, something, personal that you're working on. So what's
Mhm.
something that you are currently working on?
So I can't say too much for the stuff for Google, because you know how technology changes every year.
That's
So
totally fine.
yeah, so we have a lot of
Yeah.
new things popping up. So uh you'll see it come out. Hopefully they put my name in the credits for some of the stuff. That was like my childhood
Hey,
dream,
we're
but
looking for it.
yeah, but yeah,
Look for
on
Clifton, y'all. Look for Clifton.
hopefully I'm in there. But yeah, for personal projects, like I don't know, I'm trying to, I kind of want to do something where it's like I want to help people understand like how to create stuff. Like because like back in hometown, Moreno Valley, like we don't the schools don't teach too much of like what you can create. It's more of like, here's the information, here's the grade, you go on to the next level. Here's the information, here's the grade, go on to the next level. You go to college, it's like, here's the information, uh go on with yourself. Like there's no point where it's like, well, try to figure out how to create something that you want, how something that may change the world, kind of thing. So like I've been buying like small parts and pieces and trying to think of like ways of like, how can I help kids find programming easy? How can I make it sound fun? What can I incorporate to help spark that curiosity? Because people are losing curiosity now. Like I want to help, like like help kids figure out like, oh, like a robot, you can actually just go up and down. Like there's like products out there, but I kind of want to like hone in on some of the pieces that they miss out on. So that's kind of like the projects I'm trying to pick up on.
Dude, that is fucking beautiful. Like it's applied science basically, right? Applied
Hmm.
science, right? That's
Yep.
fucking beautiful because unfortunately, kids and especially kids that look like us, they only think they can rap or play ball or something like that, right? But
Hmm.
once they see and know that, we can do other things and that you can do things that you can just imagine, like, you
Hmm.
can build a robot to go pick up your trash and throw it away. Like just by you showing up and telling them, hey, you can do this, they it opens up their mind naturally, like, oh, there's other ways to living life. There's other ways to doing things just besides shaking my butt or rapping or something like that or selling
Exactly.
drugs or whatever. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
Break the
so,
cycle. Break the
man,
cycle.
break the low frequency and mentality thinking,
Hmm.
right? And it's not really their fault. It's what they're being fed, right? And
Hmm.
sometimes, either you're going to feed them McDonald's or you're going to feed them some healthy things, right?
Hmm.
Food for thought, if that makes sense,
Didn't.
right? And so, God bless you and thank you, Cliff, for wanting to bring positivity, light, and healthiness of possibilities to these children. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna achieve what you want. You're gonna achieve it. You're gonna achieve it, bro. You're gonna achieve it. And
Appreciate it.
you might even get to a point where you get to create your own school where you can actually have, kids and stuff like that study applied sciences and STEM and stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
man, I can't wait to see the future of everything, right?
That's the goal.
Um,
That's the goal.
man, it's amazing. So, I like to ask everybody at the end of the podcast about their empire, right? So, what do you see, or what would you like your empire to look like?
Oh, I don't even know how to answer that. uh,
Just
uh, my empire. Like, give me an example. Like, I'm not sure how to where to go with this.
it's like, what do you want out of life? What will make you die an old man happy?
Okay, okay, okay. I guess live life with no regret. Like, if you want something to happen, make sure to do it. Don't sit there and just be like, oh, I wish I could do that. Like, no, like push forward. You can do it. Like I like a normal schmo like me, like I used to play basketball, like play video games. I never expected myself to get here, but it all it took was just, you know, why am I holding myself back? Let me see how far I can go. So I guess it's like keep pushing. Don't hold yourself back. I don't know if that.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about you. What do you want to see? Like, what do you want stemming from you, right? Because the
Mhm.
advice you gave is great advice, by the way, people, for
Okay.
other people to never stop. But we don't know about Cliff. What do you want in your life to expand out? Whether, like I said, like maybe you want a charter school for kids.
Mhm.
Maybe you want to make sure that your grandkids are taken care of by having a senior position at Google.
Mhm.
Any little thing like that. I know it's probably a question that you've probably never been asked before,
Yeah, I never
but
had that before.
but it's basically thinking about dreaming for the future and what you would like to desire for the future. Like to die a happy man,
Yeah.
for you to die a happy man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pass it
Okay.
on to you one more time.
Okay. 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 I guess I would say probably like, have my family going on, and also like I kind of want to help teach. Like I want to like be a professor. I want to start like an organization to help people code. Try to bring inspiration back. Try to get everybody thinking again. So, um, man, it's hard to answer, man. Uh, just I just want people to be more interested in technology instead of being consumed by entertainment.
I love it. I love it. And thank you, Cliff, so much for coming on the podcast. Appreciate it. So if anybody wanted to like contact you, wanted to talk to you, ask you about software, about Google, about maybe working with you to work with kids on software design
Mhm.
or building, how can they contact you?
So I have my email. You can it's an old email, but I check it constantly. Futurepilotclif at gmail.com.
Can you spell that out?
So future, so FUTURE, Cliff, CLIFF, pilots, PILOT at gmail.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for this gentleman, go right there. If you want to help participate in the projects that he's trying to do with helping kids, mostly inner city kids, I believe, but probably all children, to understand applied science and creativity, reach out to him. He is the man that knows these things, right? And I just want to thank you again, Cliff. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Antonio V. Miles. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Like, subscribe, share, comment, give good ratings if you enjoyed it. Also, again, my ebook is coming out 10 Things That Your Parents Should Have Taught You But Didn't. It's coming very soon, so stay tuned. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
I say it's my